Half the pay is if you live in the Bay.
okay.
Well, half the pay is dinner.
Of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, would you please call roll, City Clerk Beck?
Moore,
Present.
Wilmot,
Present.
Nachtrob,
Present.
Walker,
Present.
Murphy.
Present, we have a quorum, 5. Next, the proclamation to the First Presbyterian Church of Petoskey. Are you representing them here?
Sure.
Well, I thought Grace Ketchum was gonna be here and she's not, so. Okay.
That church, so we're happy to do that.
Okay. Whereas the First Presbyterian Church of Petoskey is actively involved in this Petoskey community and has for 150 years reached out in service and in love. And whereas the church's mission, Faith in Motion, aptly describes the work of First Presbyterian Church of Petoskey, as the church as well as its congregants serve many constituents throughout our region as well as throughout the world. Whereas more than 500 community members use the facility, whether it's for service on Sunday or through community meetings and events. And whereas the church has 2 other faith organizations that utilize space for worship, has closely partnered with the Petoskey District Library and the Crooked Tree Arts Center, and is hosted to annual AA gatherings 6 days a week. And whereas the first community lunch has been offered to the community on Thursdays and Sundays at noon for the past 30 years. Whereas the First Presbyterian Church is a church of openness, kindness, acceptance, generosity, love, and spirituality, and standing as a testimony to diversity and to inclusiveness. Therefore, I, John Murphy, Mayor of Petoskey, together with the City Council, do hereby proclaim August 9th, 2026 as the First Presbyterian Church of Petoskey Day. We are grateful for your presence in the downtown area and celebrate with you this milestone birthday. Signed today, the 6th of August, 2026. You want a picture with you two?
Sure.
Come on down.
Lindsay, you too.
Whoever's a member there, come on up. They're a member of this. Come on. Come on.
Are we in it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think if you go into the stairs. You can leave it. Yeah. But, let's see.
Let's see. Oh,
Where are you with that? I will shade. You are shaded.
The red crowd. I hope.
Isn't the open house on Sunday?
just volume.
I do.
Say.
Okay.
Next is the consent agenda, and it's the July 20th, 2026 regular session and closed session city council meeting minutes. Acknowledge the receipt of certain report certain administrative transactions that have occurred since July 20th, 2026, and also adoption of a proposed resolution authorizing the city manager to submit a ballot to the Michigan Municipal League for Workers' Compensation Fund trustees. I go to council for questions or comment. Mr. Wilmot.
I move acceptance of the consent agenda.
Support.
Any other discussion, council? I go, Miss Mr. Moore,
Just a quick question. Is this Michigan Municipal League item supposed to be included here or added to the agenda? Or-
I'm gonna go over that just as soon as we're done here.
Excuse me, thank you.
you want that on, added to the agenda?
Yeah, I'll talk about it when we're done with your vote.
I go to Sarah for roll.
Wilmot,
Aye.
Demore,
Aye.
Walker.
Aye.
Knocktроb,
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye. Consent agenda passes 5-0. Sure, ask about this right now.
So council, we got, Sarah and I received we get this annually. It's like a housekeeping item from Michigan Municipal League, their annual, what is it called?
Meeting.
Convention, thank you, is October 7th through 9th. It'll be held in Traverse City at the Grand Traverse Resort. Unfortunately, we got this after the packet went out. And so from a housekeeping standpoint, we typically, for anyone that's planning on attending, anyone in city council that would like to be considered a representative and potentially an alternate, be appointed so we can return that information to the league ahead of this meeting. So when they do their annual meeting, we have representation at that meeting. So again, I apologize that we're handing this out to you, but we did not receive it in time and we will not meet again. The ballots need to be returned by September 7th. So would ask for your consideration.
Anybody wish to be our representative? Mr. Moore,
I'm attending.
Ms. Walker,
I would like to attend as well, Mayor.
I will be too, so I guess three of us. Anybody else wish to attend? There you go, so you've got three.
But we need to fill out who's going to be the city's voting rep and who's going to be the city's alternate representative. So between the three of you, you can arm wrestle that.
Ms. Walker,
Thank you, Mayor. Do you know, Tina, is the Youth Advisory Committee planning on attending again at the annual convention, if this would be something that
They're going to attend CapCon, which is
CapCon.
in the spring.
is different? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Of course.
either of you wish to be our representative? Not.
I'm happy to do it unless one of you wants to do it.
Ms. Demora, go for it.
Feel free.
You want to be the alternate or I can?
I'll be the alternate. That's
You
fine.
be the
Thank Mayor.
alternate.
Just need a motion and.
I ask for a motion. Mr., well, you guys are being nominated. Mr. Wilmot, would you make a motion?
Do we need,
Yes, I move for acceptance of the resolution.
we need a motion first to add it to the agenda?
Should probably have a motion to amend and add.
I modify my motion.
Okay,
I'd like to move that we accept the resolution and modify the agenda accordingly. Support.
I have a motion from Mr. Wilmot, a second from Mr. Knobtrop. Any other discussion? On that motion, I go to Ms. Beck for roll.
Wilmot,
Aye.
Knocktроb,
Aye.
Demore,
Aye.
Murphy,
Aye.
Walker.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Horn.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next, we have public comment. This is your opportunity to step forward. The full name. You will address council and not the audience. Is there anybody that wishes to speak to council? If there is something that's on the agenda and you wish to wait for that, we would suggest you do that. But if you cannot wait and you wish to take this time now to do that, you may. Is there anybody who wishes to speak to council at this time? Sir, the one in the back first. You're next. Sir, come on up. Max Putters.
My name is Max Putters, retired former county planning director. And I can only say I've been involved with trails and park facilities since 1972.
Is the mic green? Is the mic green?
Good question.
Now,
There you go.
Now it is.
Yeah, we got you.
Kind of speak into
A little light on the subject.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
better.
That's good.
Okay. I just wanted to introduce myself as Max Putters. Maybe, you know, I don't know. I was the county planning director for years and worked with the city of Petoskey and Bear Creek and Resort and all of northern Michigan almost. But one of the big projects that went in was the trails for non-motorized trails. And city council people were on those boards. Fred Pettis worked on that. And so many people went, put their time and effort to volunteer and provide a recreation facility that's, I'd have to say, world-class. I mean, when you look out here, I mean, Little Traverse Bay, Lake Michigan, that's a world resource. And what we tried to do as planner anyway, is to make access to that, not necessarily physical access, but visual, so that you could, when a person drives by, they could see Lake Michigan. You don't need a sign out there that says, with an arrow says Lake Michigan. You can see it, you know where you are. But I want to point out that this area is we live in a vibrant, active community. I mean, there's lots going on. It's beautiful, it's world-class, and how lucky we are to be that way, and how privileged we are to have you interested the same way and serve the citizens and their needs. A lot of people probably don't like trails because they think it's a bicycle. Well, certainly that's the focus, but the trails we put in are being used by young mothers pushing baby carriages. We have like people with handicaps that can't drive or whatever. So they serve the whole spectrum of population, especially public health. And in my time here working with the communities, the medical profession has always been first in my book, as they're interested in exercise and healthy living for the citizens and their patients. And so it kind of was a disappointment that Dr. Lowe would sue the city. And especially, I don't think the city did anything wrong. I mean, what did you do wrong that would invite financial penalties? My thought was that we could just try to keep that easement in the ownership of the city until, there's more time for this all to flesh out. And there's a lot to this. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither were the resort bluffs. So anyway, that's, in fact, one of the doctors in Arrowhead was instrumental in promoting and helping us get that trail in. And the other thing is that we had all these volunteers, including, we had the mayors of both cities, Harbor Springs, on the committee. We had the city managers, we had recreation directors. They were all here working on this trail at one time or another. I think there's over 100 people that served on the Little Traverse Bay Wheelway Committee. Fred Pettis was a real vibrant force in that. This trail linked to being interrupted with a natural disaster does not seem to be something that you have to fix. I mean, it came down, and I think like I said, it's a bigger job, and it's not your job, it's just the city to put Mother Nature back. And maybe there are some plans that would come out that would show using what came down, and if the easement is still there, maybe a trail could be put in. I think first benefit is to have just a green belt through there, which would be that easement could be just a permanent green belt. And then the trail could be maybe a hiking trail to start with. And then as time goes by and resources available, it could expand again back maybe to a bicycle path or a paved surface. I say bicycle, but again, you see people walking it, jogging it, taking their dogs out there. And I live on Indian Garden Road, and I'm looking right at the road and the lake. And I just see this traffic going by all the time, that's wonderful to see. These people are doing what we want them to do. Get outside, get some exercise, do something besides iPad work. There's a lot more to life than that. And we are so fortunate that we have all these resources that so many people have been working on to develop. And I just want to add that those resources came, the easements came at a great volunteer effort. The room down the hall here, Brad Leach was city planner then. We were there, people from along the shore came in. They, you know, your city attorney wrote the easement documents that we offered to the landowners, and it all worked fine. But then here comes this collapse, which is really a concern to everybody, to me too. You can't ignore it. But we need time to work around it and through it. And so my plea would be that you would not give up the easement. You don't have to put the slopes back and spend 45 million. I think, well, what if you have that 25 million in your motion, which I'd rather draft motion, and what if you only got 24.5 million? Then what? It doesn't meet. What if it took 7 years instead of 6? Everything's out the window. So you've wasted 6 years of promotion and collecting. So I think those numbers are not good in that quote settlement. And again, what's the city got to settle? It hasn't done anything. You know, you haven't committed any crimes, no felonies, no, nothing. It's just there. So again, I say, try to keep that easement to the full extent that you can. And let's put together maybe a coalition of some kind or a task force to move on from there, to advance it to where we might eventually get a very popular scenic trail back. You know, if you're camping in Magnus Park, you had your bicycle, what could be better than to go out your camper door and head over to Bay Harbor or Charlevoix or Traverse City, or go the other way to Mackinac City? Okay, I'm sorry, I wrote that paper that I had passed out because I don't know how to talk, so I'll sit down and thank you very much.
Max.
Thank you.
Anyone else with sir?
Hi, I'm Steve Biggs, and I just want to say thank you to Max and to you all and everybody that has dealt with this very difficult situation. And we all know the value of it. I mean, and Max outlined it. I mean, you know, it's one of the proudest things that we have here in this town, that crown jewel of all the trails in Michigan. And I've heard that over and over again. There's nothing that ever comes on any of these trails that are being done throughout the state. That's it. And when you rode down that trail, you know, bring tears to your eyes. You look out in that bay, and of all the assets we have here in Petoskey, that's the one that I really am the most proud of. And so I'm going to be brief here. I just have 3 questions that I don't quite understand. And you all have been great at trying to deal with this mess, and I know you're going to continue to, but I have 3 questions. One, the first, is the city's obligation limited to just that 5-foot easement? I mean, do you have any obligations beyond that? I don't know, you may. And then my second question is, what happens if or when the city designs and presents a connection? I mean, that's all we're asked to do, is connect our easement. If you guys and we and committees and Max and Emily, everybody, and Nick and Emily, if everybody puts together a plan and you come up with a connection that is just for the easement, and its cost is a fundable $3 million. You know, what if that happens? The third question, if that happens, is under that settlement that we're talking about now, that I've read and it's been updated, would we be able to do that? Under that settlement, if we came up with an engineered, viable, $3 million fundable program that we could get our walkers, bikers across that. Nick and I used to ride it in mountain bikes before they ever built it. I mean, it was just the rubble of the old train. You know, probably wasn't appropriate, but, you know, I mean, the access across that connection can be made for less than 26 million or whatever it is going to be. So on my last question then is, does Gus Low or Arrowhead have the right of approval on anything we come up with? If this city creatively comes up with some really neat stuff, and there are things out there, the League of Michigan Bikers and stuff, there's plans, there's drawings, these kind of bridges or accesses are done all the time. If you guys come up with something that's fundable, that doesn't take care of all their problem, can you do it? Or will Gus Low have the right of saying, no, I don't want that. You didn't take care of all my property. You didn't take care of all my shoreline. You know, I want something that solves all my problems over there. I don't think that the city is obligated to make sure that Gus's house doesn't slide into the bay. I don't think the city is obligated to that shoreline.
We're not.
We're not.
We're not.
You're not.
Answer that question, I guess.
Great.
Okay.
Well, then my question is, why would we be involved or required or obligated or carry the burden of anything that's just beyond the 5 feet that we are responsible for?
5 feet.
50? Okay. Okay, 50. Stand correct, but that's my question. And it seems to me you're being asked to solve, we're supposed to fundraise to solve their problem. I'd like to hope that the agreement allows us,
It
the
does.
city, to just fix our problem.
It does.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak to council?
Will there be time to talk when this agenda item?
I'd prefer that. That's why people talking now, you know, that's why I asked to hold it until the agenda meeting, but you can talk if you want. It works. Okay, anyone else wish to speak to council on any matters? There being none. We're going to city manager's report. I'm going to turn it over to City Manager Horn for his update. Shane, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Good evening. Want to celebrate some staff this evening, staff birthdays and work anniversaries for the month of August. Kevin Marchinkevich. I practiced that several times. One of the things I've learned very quickly with staff is it seems like everybody has nicknames. So Kevin's is Duke. So we obviously aren't going to put nicknames up here, but everybody seems to have one. I'm not sure what staff has nicknamed me, but maybe I don't want to know. But
We'll write them.
well, yeah, we'll keep that PG. Audrey Plath, our finance director, celebrated a birthday this week on August 2nd. Will Bowen, detective, public safety, August 7th. Steve Sparks, Public Works, August 11th. Jody Haven at the library, August 12th. Eric Crucell, electric department, August 26th. John Dutch, public safety, August 29. Hunter Arnold, public safety, August 30. And Gina Ellenberger, public safety, August 31st. August work anniversaries this month. Chandler Cohn, electric department, celebrates his first year anniversary with us. Jeff George, parking, 1 year anniversary. Tim Kriego, electric, 2 years. April Sanders, parking, 3 years. Dallas Gibbons, public safety, 3 years. Lexi Steele, Public Safety, 4 years. Mary Holbein, Library, 9 years. Scott Lamont, Public Safety, 10 years. Sarah Beck, our clerk in my office, 17 years with the city this month. Carl Fritz, Public Safety, 21 years. And Dave Krusky, Parks and Rec, 25 years with the city this month. A few reminders, we have a special joint session with the Planning Commission coming up on Monday, August 17th. That'll again be at 6 o'clock. We will run through our 6-year capital improvement plan with staff, with department heads. So we encourage your attendance. Certainly the public is welcome. This is an open meeting as well. So this is a kind of our annual time where we get to talk capital projects for the next 6-year period. Personnel updates, wanted to let you know that we are making a few staffing changes based on the workload that is in the city clerk's office. We are creating a deputy clerk position. We had a staff member that was a admin assistant that provided support to Parks and Rec, Planning and Zoning, and Public Works. That person has left the city. So instead of filling that position, I've kind of created this new position to support all the work that goes on in the clerk's office. We really need, Sarah needs more support. The election process is an animal in and of itself. It's getting more and more complicated. God forbid something would happen to Sarah. We really have no one to step in and facilitate an election. So this person would be Sarah's kind of second in command, as well as take on some administrative functions that we lost when we lost that employee that I just mentioned. So we're looking to hire that. We posted the position internally this week. And so we'll also go out in the community and post a position as well. So it's just, we've had over 176 public records requests. That's a huge load that Sarah has as well. And public safety as well, that handles a lot of public records requests. So it's just more and more demand on that office, as well as licensing, business licensing, and short-term rentals. You are going to see in the next meeting our rental registration inspection program. So that's coming. That's going to be another significant lift for staff to keep up with those from a licensing standpoint, from an inspection standpoint, and just keeping up with that. So it's a needed position, and we certainly need to get it filled to provide support to that office, as well as administrative assistant for Public Works. If you can rewind back when Mike Robbins and Terry Barrett retired together, we obviously filled Mike's position with Jason, and we filled Terry's position with Matt, but we didn't fill,
Actually,
trying to think.
Jason.
Sorry, Matt filled Jason's position and no one filled Terry's position. That's right. So Matt wanted to try this, see if he could do both Jason's former position and Terry's position, kind of take it on. And he's done a great job. He's been a great addition to our staff, but he needs some help as well. So this would be an admin assistant to take some of the paperwork issues off of his plate. This would be down at Public Works in the office on Sheridan. So really both positions are needed, and we're looking to fill those two currently. Some construction updates. Howard Street reconstruction is ongoing. The stretch from Fulton to Washington is where we're at currently still. All sanitary sewer main has been completed. Water main replacement and services will be complete tomorrow. Storm sewer replacement will start next week. And then we'll have the last stretch from Washington to Jennings to complete. That work will start once we are substantially complete with the prior section that I just went over. So we're still anticipating project completion in early October, which would wrap up that stretch of Howard Street. A number of things that we've been working on, staff has been working on that I want to highlight. The dog park in the Bear River Valley, we're having a ribbon cutting for that Friday, August 21st. All the concrete has been poured. The gates have been set. Right now, we've done some overseeding and really trying to water it to kind of fill in some of the gaps, if you will, from a lawn standpoint. So right now we're trying to keep it closed, even though I know folks have gone in and started using it. We're trying to let some grass grow in there a little bit more before we open it officially on Friday, August 25th at 5 o'clock. So we encourage folks to come down for that. The Friendship Bench along the bayfront is in the walkway. We also have a accessible walkway to get to the bench. That is complete. We're having a formal ribbon cutting on that August 28th at 4 o'clock. We're seeing a lot of folks already take advantage of that, going down and getting pictures with the backdrop being the wonderful bay that we get to look at every day. As well, the Wheelway Art Walk mural. That ribbon cutting will take place as well on Friday, August 28th, right after the Friendship Bench ribbon cutting. That'll be at 5 o'clock. So all of the 4x4 panels are due back when? Next week? 14th, August 14th. And our staff will be putting together some framework along that retaining wall off the wheelway, getting ready for that. So that's very exciting to see some of the work that's already come in. And if you've seen our social media, Facebook page, we're trying to highlight some of the artists' work as they've kind of gone through that. So we encourage folks to take a look at that as well. On a separate note, wanted to alert folks, and we'll push out this on social media tomorrow as well. And we said we would do this when City Council approved this one commercial fireworks display. That'll be on Saturday, August 8th in Bay Harbor. That'll be going off of a barge between the hours of 9:30 and 10:30. I didn't write that down, but I think that's what the hours were. And again, we'll put this on Facebook. So if you have any animals or anything that you want to try to assist with the noise, we wanted to just make people aware of that. This will be the only, this is the only commercial fireworks display that City Council has approved. And we did this back in
May.
Was it May? Okay. So wanted to alert the public, and we'll push that out again tomorrow as well. What else do I have? Oh, just wanted to give a picture of the Friendship Bench. Again, the backdrop is looking at the break wall and the bay. We're again getting a lot of good comments, a lot of good feedback from that, and we encourage people to take a look at it. The zoning ordinance rewrite, we're scheduling open house later in September, and I will keep pushing this out as well to alert people of this opportunity. So Tuesday, September 22nd and Wednesday, September 23rd, there'll be a number of opportunities for folks to come up to this room. We'll have a bunch of displays set up, and these displays will remain up through the rest of September. In this room, so you can always peruse at your leisure. So those are some open house opportunities. The Planning Commission's planning to have a public hearing later in November, and that it'll eventually get to City Council in December of this year to start working through these ordinance changes from a zoning standpoint. I'm going to turn over to Sarah to talk about and give a briefing of our August 4th primary vote results.
Yes, so on your handout, yes, I make errors. So the very first overall turnout, I didn't update that from May. So Actual total number of voters that early voted election day in person or absentee was actually 1,844. And that is 36.56% of city voters came out on Tuesday. So on that handout, you can see that 62 registered voters in the city voted at the early voting site on West Conway Road. We have a county agreement. So all 18 jurisdictions in Emmett County vote at that location for 9 days prior to Election Day. In person that walked through the doors, 710 people, so that's about 14%. We had 1,072 absentee ballots that our AV counting board processed. And then, which leads basically 64% of registered voters did not vote. And as of Monday at 4 PM, we had 5,044 registered voters in the city. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to recognize staff and election inspectors that help me administer Election Day. So first, I'd like to recognize Lisa Grant in the Finance Department that sits at the front desk. She basically processed all those absentee ballots, issued them, I should say. And Nicole Stradling also, they helped me both on Election Day. Parks and Rec staff, they help set up and tear down. And then also public safety officers kind of checking us throughout the day, early morning and late evening hours. So I appreciate all of our coworkers in helping that. And then I am going to read each and every one of these election inspectors because yes, they receive wages and training, but it's a lot of work. And there's a few in this room and few of our council members have work. So they do know all the time and effort it takes. So our receiving board, which is at the end of the evening, it's a team of a Republican and a Democrat. So we have two teams. One was Christine Gebhard and Rick Lloyd, and then Jill Thompson and Emily Meyerson, which is in the audience. Thank you, Emily. They check all the work at the end of the evening, make sure balance reports, checked signatures, et cetera, before it goes to the county. And then in Ward 1, we had Laura Scalarup. She chaired Ward 1, Barb Daniel, Sharon Walker, Sherry McGuffin, Anna Ballou, and Cynthia McWaters. Ward 2, Rose Fitzgerald chaired, Norb Daniel, Agnes Shaw, Linda Vanderberg, Lee Phillips, Mary Peterman. Ward 3, Elaine Pelk chaired, Jill Thompson, Ernst Ruscha, Mary O'Leary Larson, Emily Meyerson. Ward 4, Patty McLeese chaired, Carol Jarvie, Donna Wiklansky, Christine Gebhard, Susan Finn. And then our AV counting board that processed those 1,072 ballots was Jennifer Fordyce chaired, Rick Lloyd, Grace Ketchum, Lisa Lloyd, Charlie Wilmot, thank you, Charlie, and Wanda White. And I'll just make a comment that I'm always looking for election inspectors. Oh, thank you. Also, Rick and Lisa Lloyd in the back row. I didn't see you. What was that? Yes, yes. We're always looking for more election inspectors. So if you guys know anyone, we need R's, we need D's, contact my office, email me. And it's a matter of filling out an application and training. So thank you. And thank you, council, for rescheduling this meeting.
Council, do you have any comments or questions for the city manager on his presentation? Mr. Moore.
First of all, full support for the concept of a deputy clerk. How Sarah has been doing all this, I have absolutely no idea. So very great idea. Well-run election. Thank you for your efforts and for all the efforts of those that were working that day. My question's about the zoning ordinance open house. What is going to be the format of this information for the public? And will some form of organized content be available online? I'm aware that online right now there are segments of content, but I wonder if something's going to be put together in a more formal way for people to be able to see online and what that content might look like at the open house. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know what it'll exactly look like. There will be some content that'll be pushed out and shared and available. But it's coming to, it's an open house format, so it's a drop in, come and go, sit down, talk with our planning consultant, talk with planning commission members. And so they can interact at that meeting, but there will be, as we get closer to the date, there'll be additional documents that will be released. They'll have at their, for review. Yes.
And would, whatever that material is, would it ultimately be available online for folks
Yes.
to?
Yep,
Okay,
sure.
thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Anything else, council? Mr. Knobtrop.
Directly on your report, but just a general question, Shane, what's the process for the 5-year strategic plan update? Is that coming this year, next year? Do you know?
5-year what?
5-year strategic plan or the?
Oh, the master plan?
Master plan.
update? That's a great question. We need to talk that through. I think previously that work, and I'm gonna look at Charlie, because I think you were involved with that previously. That was all work done in-house.
Actually, I was, that was before my time on the
Oh,
planning commission.
Okay.
But
I think you're talking about the livable Petoskey master plan.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
so 2010.
And it was the city planner.
Yeah.
The city
Primarily
planner
did it.
and
primarily the
planning commission
city,
member,
yeah.
Correct.
Okay. That typically it's a 5-year look back or review, and so we're at 6 years on that document, so it does need to be refreshed, updated. So whether if we want to do an outside consultant to do that, obviously that's not something I have considered in the budget at this point, but
I think it's a great question to ask at the CIP joint meeting with the planning commission.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
Anything else, council? There being none. We'll go to appointments. Consider the appointments for the Board of Review and the Planning Commission. 1 second, let me open it up. Here we go. I left my glasses out at home, so these are prescription sunglasses, so I'm sorry for wearing them, but I need them to read. I bring forward David Schuman. He's served on the Board of Review for the Assessor's Office. He has served the past 3 years. My experience would be beneficial, he believes, to continue. He was a good participant. He's also served on boards such as the top of the Michigan Trails Council and Manna Food Project. He's lived in Petoskey 21 years. He was born and raised here. I asked somebody to make a motion and support that I bring him forward. Mr. Wilmot.
I move for acceptance of David Schuman for the Board of Review.
I second the motion, Mayor.
Thank you. I have a motion from Mr. Wilmot, a second from Ms. Walker. Any other discussion? I go to Ms. Beck for roll.
Wilmot,
Aye.
Walker,
Aye.
Demore,
Hi.
Murphy,
Aye.
Knocktrom.
aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations, Mr. Schuman. Next is Albert Moss. He's on the Planning Commission, and he is asked to be recertified for serving additional. He learned a lot in the planning process and zoning, and he's been an alternate on the Zoning Review Committee and has an interest in balancing the needs for affordable housing in Petoskey's economic development with the needs of a full-time Petoskey resident. He's has been on the Michigan Patient Family Advocate Advisory Committee, Crooked Creek Sailors Board, and is very involved in chapter of Trouts Unlimited. Been his first 23 years of his life and the last 7 of his life have been in Petoskey. Prior to retirement. He taught respiratory therapy at Grand Valley Community College, and I bring his name forward.
I so move a reappointment. Sorry. Do you want to go, Mr. Knapp?
Go ahead.
I so move a reappointment of Albert Moss for a 3-year term for the Planning Commission ending August of 2029.
Be happy to support my fellow Ward 3 guy.
I have motion from Mrs. Demore and a second from Mr. Knobtrob. Any other discussion, council? I go to Ms. Beck for the roll.
Demore.
Aye.
Naktrab.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Walker.
Aye.
Wilmot.
Motion passes 5-0. Next is we're on to old business. It's the second reading and possible adoption of a proposed ordinance amending chapter 8, article 10 of the murals. I turn it over to City Manager Horn for that piece.
Thank you, Mayor. Really, the only change from our last reading, based on your direction, we did add language to section 8402D2 that the notice of the meeting at which the application will be considered will be posted on the Art Commission agenda and at the proposed mural site not less than 14 days before the meeting. I do want to direct you to that section in the ordinance. That's again, section 8402D2. That's page 43 in your packet. Councilmember Demore and I were talking about this yesterday, and I initially responded that the language was good. As Sarah and I reviewed it again, we do need to have a little bit of an update there. What should happen on number 2, notice of the meeting at which the application will be considered shall be posted on the Art Commission agenda. We should have a period there. The next sentence, and I haven't wordsmithed this, but just kind of thinking through this, what the next sentence should say, but
Can I help you?
yes, please.
Notice of the meeting at the proposed mural site shall be posted not less than 14 days before the meeting. Is that
Yes,
what you were trying?
yes, please. Thank you. And that's great. Could you read that one more time?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I did that from my head.
Oh, you did? I thought you had it
I think I
written.
got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Thank
Notice
you.
of the meeting at the proposed
Do you want to
mural
read
site.
it, Sarah, or are you good?
Since she's gone.
Notice of the meeting at the proposed mural site shall
Be posted
be posted
not less than 14 days before the meeting period.
days.
Before the meeting period or just before, oh, period.
Yeah.
Not the word period.
The
Yeah,
punctuation.
The punctuation.
period. Yeah,
Does that make sense, what
It
we
does.
did here? Okay, thank you for that consideration.
Totally.
and that's also in the next one too. I don't-
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think this one needs to be
Yeah.
addressed first.
Yep.
Do I have a motion on this, Mr. Wilmot?
I move for acceptance of the ordinance amendment with regard to murals, including the correction that was just made verbally, adding notice at the mural site shall be posted not less than 14 days before the meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion, Mayor.
Public wish to weigh in on this? There being none, council, do you have anything else? I go to Ms. Beck for roll.
Roll.
Wilmot.
Aye.
Walker.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Naktrab.
Aye.
Next is the adoption of a proposed resolution approving mural policy and guidelines. I turn it over to City Manager Horn once again. Any changes?
Yeah. Oh, right here it is. Okay, so similarly on Article 7A,
Pages in.
that's page 49 in your packet. We will need to do the same language to mimic what we did in the ordinance.
Mural ordinance?
So page 49 in your packet,
Oh, no.
Article 7A,
Zoning.
am I wrong? Is that not the right spot?
No, that's correct, but I think it's fine the way it's written.
Wait.
There's a period in there. It
Article
says at
7.
least 14 days prior to the meeting.
Nope, the period should be after agenda, the middle of that section after, shall be posted on the art commission agenda, period.
No, this might need to be more because at least 14 days prior to the meeting. Because we don't do art commission agendas 14 days ahead of
Yeah.
time.
That doesn't work.
Might need to rework this a little bit more, but it's the same concept. Why can't it just be the same as the ordinance? Where's it, Laura? She might.
Yeah, I want to make sure I understand the intent of the change. Is it that you don't want to have the agenda ready 14 days in advance?
Right.
That's right, that's not our normal cycle.
Got it. So you could say applications shall be, let me figure it out here. You could kind of flip the order of that and for the second sentence, say, oh, sorry, no, I'm trying to wordsmith on the fly as well.
I can have.
Do you have it, Tina?
You got something?
Yeah, Laura, what if we just did, application shall be reviewed at a regular meeting, of the Art Commission. Notice of the meeting shall be posted on the Art Commission agenda, and then period. And
Yeah.
then we do the same thing as we did before.
Yeah, I think that works.
Yeah,
So we're turning into 3 sentences there. And then that third sentence will start with at least 14 days before the art commission meeting. Notice of the meeting shall be posted on the proposed mural site or posted at the proposed mural site.
yeah.
You get that, Sarah?
Yes, I can listen to the video. You and Laura's. 'Cause
Anything else on there that needs to be changed?
Do you want it one more time, Sarah, or you think you got it?
I mean, you can review it again if you want.
Well, okay, Laura's gonna tell me if I got it right. Application shall be reviewed at a regular meeting of the Art Commission. Notice of the meeting shall be posted on the Art Commission agenda, period. At least 14 days prior to the Art Commission meeting, notice of the meeting shall be posted on the proposed mural site. Is that it, Laura?
The only thing that struck me as a little, that we might want to look at is when you say notice of the meeting shall be posted on the art commission agenda. I mean, I'm not sure that's right, because
Application.
notice of the application, that would be a better way to phrase it,
There you go.
but the rest sounded good.
So given that, is what we did on the prior one okay, or should that be changed as well? Because the
Might
other
need to
ones-
read it back. Because I agree, the other one should also, if the other one said notice of the meeting shall be posted on the art commission agenda, I think it should say notice of the application.
But does it say at which the application will be considered, though?
What was the ordinance language we approved, if you have it, Sarah?
Notice of the meeting at which the application will be considered shall be posted on the Art Commission agenda. Period. Is what was approved. Which the meeting is quote noticed, we always post it on the website and we post the entire packet, so.
Right, the gist is the application will be identified on the agenda.
Yeah. No,
And I think
that's
the
fine.
ordinance is
think
okay.
that's
I think it sufficiently communicates that.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. Okay. The change.
Well, do I have
I'd be glad to make the motion to pass the resolution as corrected by Tina and Laura.
Support.
I have a motion from Mr. Knobtrab, second from Mr. Wilmot. Public wish to weigh in on this? No. Council, I go to Ms. Beck for roll.
Knocktron,
Aye.
Wilmot.
Aye.
Walker.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Murphy.
Last is the adoption of a proposed resolution approving city council meeting preparation procedures policy.
You waiting for me or? Yeah. Oh, this is your document. I was letting you kind of run.
Oh, okay. Council, you've received many changes in this piece, I guess if there's ever a living document, I guess this one would be it's gotta be alive for how many changes it still lived through at this point. We'll still pump some life in it. You have, I guess, you've had time to review this. Is there anybody that has any concerns or comments? Mr. Moore?
Okay, with hopes that my colleagues do not shoot the messenger, I have 7 items. And I'm going to start with 2 that are Laura's comments. So I'm going to look first at page 54, which is make up meetings. And this was comment number 4 from Laura. And Laura's comment was, rescheduled regular meetings must be noticed in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. My question, Laura, on that one is, we didn't incorporate anything from your comment, and did you want us to?
Sorry, I have it open in Word, so I've got to find which, what is this under scheduled meetings and meeting calls?
This is under makeup meetings, which is on page 54 of the packet.
It is part of
Okay,
scheduling
got it.
meetings.
Okay, I've got it.
You got it. Okay, thanks. And that was the one makeup meetings where you gave us the note, rescheduled regular meetings must be noticed in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. And we didn't include that in there. So that's my question to you. Do you want something in there?
I'm not concerned about that because your notices are always going to have to follow the Open Meetings Act. So
Okay.
that is what it is.
Great. The next one for you is under public hearing procedures. The second paragraph, scheduled hearings, it's on our page 60. It was comment 33. This was the one where the question, let me look myself. You wanted us to strike some language, which we did. But the part that's not really addressed, you say, I would allow the city manager the flexibility and discretion to schedule public meetings, regardless of whether it's required by certain regulations. So in there, it's been changed. Public hearings will be scheduled by the city council. That's fine. But was the intention of your comment that there should be something in there about the ability of the city manager to do it as well? That's my question.
Sure. So it's up to you because legally that can be done either way. In many municipalities, administration retains some discretion to do that. In case there's a timing issue, a public hearing needs to be had and there's not a city council meeting in between there. So I'm fine with however you want to do it, as long as administration knows whether they have the authority to schedule a public hearing.
So why wouldn't we go ahead and put that in there? I mean, it seems logical.
Could you simply say scheduled by city council or city manager?
Yes, you could say that.
Can you say that again? Oh,
Or city manager.
Yep, just add or city manager after city council.
Next, Mr. Moore.
The next one I'm going to talk about appears in 2 places. So I'm just going to start by saying page 56 at the bottom. Under hearing minutes, you'll all remember that we talked about whether we were going to leave addresses in and whether we wanted people to provide their affiliations. And at this point in the procedures, it appears unresolved, when in fact on page 61, under speakers identified at the very top, we resolved this. So we put names and we took out and addresses, names of persons who provide comments during the public hearing, along with affiliations if speaking on behalf of an organization or entity. So my only point here is that should be repeated under hearing minutes because it's exactly the same. So that's the only thing I'm presenting, that let's take that language that we resolved under speakers identified and insert it under hearing minutes as well. So again,
Sounds good to me.
yeah. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
That's number 3. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Now let me find number, sorry, these are out of order. Well, I can't find number 4 right now. So we'll go to number 5. The next one's on page 62, which is the very last page. And if you all remember, my recollection is we kind of left this drafting to Laura or I think the city manager and Sarah. And it all looks good to me with 2 suggestions. One, the sentence, the mayor shall present names of persons for consideration, I think should be added there, and approval by members of the city council for appointment to these boards and commissions. So I would suggest adding that. And I would also suggest omitting the last sentence because it's not clear what it means. It says, when applicable, residents of the city may be appointed to such boards and commissions. And I think, based on speaking with Sarah, the intention was when you apply, you might be appointed. But when you read that sentence, it reads like residents may be appointed. So she and I today were trying to draft something else, and this is just winging it, Laura's listening, something like the qualifications of applicants to be appointed to such boards and commissions shall be as set forth in the charter, city ordinances, and/or Michigan law. So 2 changes, taking out that last sentence and putting in something that makes clear what the meaning is. And then under the sentence before, adding and approval after for consideration and approval by members of the city council.
Is this for all boards?
That's what it says at the top. The mayor shall, the mayor shall appoint all members of all commissions and committees pursuant to section 4.3 of the city charter unless otherwise provided by applicable law or the city charter. Then it goes directly to the mayor shall present names of persons for consideration. This is where I'm suggesting and approval by members of the city council for appointment to these boards and commissions. Then it would involve taking out the last sentence.
What about the Downtown Management Board, Library, Downtown Development Authority Board? What about those boards? In the charter, in this charter, it states the mayor will appoint all members of those boards. The city shall provide approval of the mayor's appointment then to the following. But I show you this.
I didn't draft the first section,
Okay.
so I can't
So-
speak to it. I don't know if Laura did or who.
Laura, did you look into the charter itself?
So, yeah, so the charter, as you just read, is pretty broad. However, there are going to be some statutes sometimes or other, governing documents that may provide differently. So I think the way this is worded accounts for that because it acknowledges that the charter provides this general appointment authority, but unless it's otherwise, there's something different in the city charter or there's a statute that provides differently, then we're going to follow those. So I'm comfortable with how the beginning of that section reads, and I'm also comfortable with the changes that Councilmember DeMore proposed to the second paragraph.
Question.
Mr. Wilmot.
Yeah, what's not clear to me is the existing one is there are certain appointments that you can make directly without approval of city council. Isn't that correct?
Yes,
And
sir.
then there are certain that require. And
Require.
this change would require all appointments be approved by city council. Is that your intention?
Are you referencing me?
Yes.
No, and it can be redrafted by Laura to fit with whatever is prescribed by the charter and other applicable law.
Yeah, sorry, when I
just
read, I didn't, I just looked at 4.3 because I originally had just read that V as you have it drafted, that, because it's very unusual for mayor to just have sole appointment authority without any oversight. And certainly things like the zoning enabling act provide otherwise.
So
So
in
what-
any, oh,
Yeah,
excuse
go
me,
ahead.
Laura, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in any event, the way it's drafted needs to be changed then, because it says the mayor shall present names of persons for consideration. So if some of them aren't to be presented to us for consideration.
Well,
we
I'm
need to
not
do-
sure, I'm sorry for the overspeak there. I'm not sure that we do, because after that, right, it says the city council must appoint all members of the city's board of review, building authority. It identifies those that are going to council. And then that language about presenting names for consideration relates to those, I believe.
On the copy we have, that's all lined out.
Oh, on the copy that I thought we sent, it wasn't. Sorry, I had our version up, so let me go to yours.
Yeah, because we did that. We did that.
Did that get, that was not our deletion.
So Shane and I discussed this was staff's deletions, because I guess I was not aware, I mean, obviously you know the zoning enabling act, but the board of review and the building authority board of commissioners, are those listed specifically, Laura, because of state statute?
So I think the cleanest way to do it, and to take into account that laws can change. And even if we know today what the zoning enabling act requires to go to council and what it doesn't, the legislature could change it tomorrow. We could keep the strike through that staff had and just put, for those appointments that require council approval, the mayor shall present, da, 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 da.
That's,
That looks good.
that's fine.
In here.
Can you say that again, Laura?
Yep, for those appointments that require council approval. And that's what I would put before the sentence that starts with the mayor shall present.
good.
So you can keep that strikeout of identifying those different board of review, et cetera. As in, that will remain stricken.
And then are you good, Laura, with omitting that last sentence and putting something more clear?
Yes, ma'am. The way you read it, I was good with, but I forgot what it was now.
The qualifications of applicants to be
Yes.
appointed to such boards and commissions shall be as set forth in the charter, comma, city ordinances and or Michigan law.
Yes.
Everybody good?
Did you find number 4?
Yes.
What about the?
I'm not sure if this.
Oh,
don't
I'm
need
not
to
down
be in
there.
there.
So the next one, number 4, which I missed, but we're actually on number 5. Hang in there. Page
Oh,
55.
can you, I just have a question, just for clarification. Back in the boards and commissions, I understand Laura's, for those appointments that require council approval, the mayor shall present names of persons for consideration, and we're not including and approval?
No,
Right.
you can, we're
Oh,
not,
well,
because, or
whatever.
it could still say that there.
So do you guys want that and approval?
For the ones that are required to be.
Correct, that would apply to the ones that are required. It may, I think it means the same thing either way at that point.
Right. Well, and to eliminate some redundancies, you could, and approval by members of the city council for appointment, period.
Reduce words.
Oh, correct. Yeah, you could do that. Of city council, period.
Yeah.
Should I go ahead, Sarah?
Is there more?
Yep. There were 7 total. We're on number 5. Page 55, under inclusion requests, there's language based on my notes that's missing there. So based on my notes, under inclusion requests, and this is talking about agendas, the first sentence was supposed to say, the mayor and city manager will collaborate to establish meeting agendas. That's missing. Then 2 members of the city council may also, that word's missing, request the city manager to include items on the agendas. So the sentence, the first sentence, and there's nothing else in here
Right.
about the city manager collaborating with anybody on city council about the agendas. So I think that sentence is supposed to be in there.
That's good.
I recall that discussion when we were doing it too the other.
That was the discussion.
So the mayor and city manager will collaborate to establish meeting agendas, period. Then it reads 2 members of the city council may, adding the word also, request the city manager. Okay, that's number 5.
Next.
Top of page 54, meeting cancellations. 2 things. One, and I already said this to Sarah, but just so everybody's aware, that last sentence, if a majority of members, so A is missing and majority of, so those are just words missing. But I would only want to revisit here for a minute this sentence, the second sentence that says, let me read the whole thing. Regular meetings of the city council may be canceled by the mayor when the city manager has reported that there are no items of business that are pending for the city council's consideration or for any other reason such as, but not limited to, scheduling conflicts, etc. However, such a call for the cancellation of a regular meeting of the city council generally should follow the polling of members of city council. To me, it shouldn't say generally should follow, and maybe you all disagree with me, but I think that if the mayor is going to cancel a meeting, he should poll the members of the city council to determine if a majority of members concur to cancel the meeting. And that's at the discretion of my colleagues.
Mr. Knobtraub,
Has that been your general practice, John? As you've been, if you canceled a meeting?
if we've canceled, which hardly has happened, I always get a hold of people.
So why don't, then if that's then the practice, it would seem like what Tina's saying, probably ought to go ahead and be put in there. That seems like the logical thing to do.
When I look at this, I'm always thinking more about when we're not here,
Exactly.
you know,
Mhm.
and what the practices should be. Is everybody
Right.
good with that?
Oh, yeah.
Remove generally.
That's that one.
It
So you're
wasn't,
removing generally? Is that what you're
it
doing?
wasn't in there? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it just says generally
Shall.
should follow,
It's
so,
City council shall
yeah,
be polled, not generally should.
City council shall be polled.
yeah, there you go.
And then
Shall
what
be
if I poll
polled.
it and it says no, and I say yes, does that?
Means the meeting goes.
Yes, to cancellation. The meeting.
Polling is not a vote, to be
Polling
clear.
is not a vote.
Polling is not a vote.
Because we can't vote outside of a meeting.
Right.
So I can poll you and still do the opposite of what you
Exactly.
wanted, is that what
Exactly.
you're saying?
Correct.
Exactly.
And that's not good either, but
Well,
I don't think you know, I think you know that isn't gonna happen. And you also know that every board and commission in the last 10 years, I've brought names forward without doing any direct appointments. I wanted council to be behind this because these are you guys, they're our appointments, not just mine. So I want you to know that you have not missed one single appointment from me in 10 years.
And I certainly am not intending that again, since we haven't done this since 2012. I'm just trying to set a framework for other people to follow. going
Ms. Walker?
I did have a question. I mean, the only context I know about a meeting that's been canceled is the zoning board of appeals. And how is that process determined? Is that determined by the chair or by the city manager to say like, there aren't enough agenda items, so we're not going to.
There are no agenda items and the secretary will send out a notification to people that.
Thank you.
Zoning administrator sends out a notification to all those members of the zoning and to public that it is being canceled.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah,
It happens 4 times a year, 5 or more.
Mhm.
if there's 4 feet of snow on Sunday night before a scheduled council meeting, I don't honestly think it's necessary for you to poll anybody, just cancel it.
Again, I think having a framework is important for somebody going forward, so everybody understands what's the expectation. But again, it's a matter of majority consensus, so.
Are we pending somebody to say something here or are we going?
I don't
number
know.
7?
What she's waiting for.
It seems like what you're saying, no one's really objecting to it.
Okay, we're good then.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
moving on. Last one, page 57. This is under quorum and voting requirements. We had a lot of discussion around required votes and roll call and order and all that sort of thing, but we haven't put anything in here. And I know there was 2 lines of discussion. One was about, should the person that makes the motion vote first and the person that supports go second? And even though, and Laura can correct me, but it's my understanding, there's nothing in Robert's Rules of Order or anything like that that says it has to be that way. But to my mind, as a practical matter, it's really important because once again, not for these people at the table, but going forward, if you don't require that, somebody who was a bad actor could make a motion and, advocate for something and then be the last person to vote and vote no. So to me, that's an important thing that order continues. Then there's the other aspect about, are we going to rotate with the remaining 3 votes or what are we doing with all that, I guess, is the
Do you have a
question.
recommendation?
Can I,
Laura?
can I jump
Laura-
in? Yeah.
Laura, question.
Mhm.
It does not require the person making the motion to vote first, is that correct?
Not only do they not have to vote first, they don't have to vote in favor of their motion. There's no requirement under Robert's rules or otherwise that you vote in favor of a motion you made. It's possible that you make a motion and after discussion, change your mind.
Very different than what we. Yeah. I think I've sat in services. I did not bring paperwork and stuff with me, excuse me. But I'm sure, I'm sure that at some point in some instructions to city council, I don't know if you were here or not, but I felt that it was told that it was kind of an order. If you made the motion, you voted first, second, you couldn't, if you made the motion, you had to vote for it. The seconding of it could vote either way, but it sounds like that was all misinformation given to us at some point.
Well, regardless, Laura, of Robert's rules, since these are our council procedures, if the majority of us sitting at the table wanted to establish a practice that if you make the motion, you need to vote first. It's not dictating what your vote is. And if you support, you vote second. Is there a problem with that?
We say, I'm glad you were saying that you're not going to dictate how they vote, because I don't think you
No.
could do that. I don't think you could say if you make the motion. I don't think there's anything preventing you from requiring that sequence. I will say I have not seen that in any other community I represent.
Council, what do you want, what should do? Mr. Knobtop?
So whether it's legal or not, in my own experience, that's generally the practice. And so I personally am in favor of saying our role is just how we do it. Whoever makes the motion is asked to vote first.
Right.
Whoever has a second is asked to vote second. And then I also thought, and we talked about this quite a bit, our time we spent the whole darn night together. And that we also included the fact that we are going to try to rotate the order of the other three.
The other three.
The other
Correct.
three. And Sarah, and what I believe was the consensus, I think so, was Sarah was going to try to figure out a way to do that so it's kind of fair and easy to administer. That's what I was understanding for this whole subject.
I agree at 100%. Ms. Walker.
I am totally shocked that we just learned that if you approve, if you make a motion or a second motion, that you do not, I was publicly chastised and I had to change my vote because I was told in this body that I had to vote the way that I had made a motion to approve whatever language. And so I am in total shock that that is not the truth. And of all things that we've done in this review process, and as like militant as I've been against this whole process, I am shocked to know that that one piece of information.
We all are.
And we're throwing all the baby out with the bathwater right now.
Councilmember Walker, have I redeemed myself by putting us through this?
You didn't ever have to redeem yourself. I totally respect the process and I appreciate the lens at which you look at the world as an attorney.
So how do you want this to go? Mr. Knobtrop?
I think we ought to just do what we've been saying. Our practice has been that the person who makes the motion votes first, who makes the second, who supports it votes second. There's no requirement to say yes or no.
Right.
And then we just rotate the other three in some
Sounds good to
fair
me.
way over some whatever.
As long as a fair rotation, I'm fine with that.
I agree.
We just won't be able
What
to
do we
have
call
that
it?
pre-programmed coming into the meeting because we will obviously not know who's making the motion, who's supporting the motion. So we won't have that ready to go. We'll have to do that on the fly, which
But you can probably come up with some
Not hard.
dynamical, I'm sure you can.
yeah,
come up
we'll
with
figure it out.
I know you can.
So if you're adding that in your procedures, how do you want that worded?
Laura,
It
could you
wasn't
help us
included
with that?
because
Laura,
What's that?
could you help us word this?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. So you do want to do it so that the person making the motion votes first and the person seconding it votes second?
That's what council has asked, yes.
Okay.
And then rotate
So-
after that.
And
then
that the
rotate
remaining
after that.
votes be rotated, Laura.
Got it. So I'm just looking at your. And you want to put that in, I'm under the quorum and voting requirements on page 57.
Under required votes.
Yeah,
it's,
I'm thinking
sorry,
too.
Laura.
No, you're okay. Yeah, all voting shall be by roll call vote and tallied. For roll call votes. I would say the clerk, whoever's acting as clerk, but the clerk shall call, I have to write this down and just type it as I go here. For roll call votes. The sequence of votes shall be first the member who made the motion, then the member who supported the motion, and then the remaining members. I mean, it's hard to say rotating sequence because it's going to be different people depending. You could do that if you were not always having the motion maker do it first. I say then the remaining members in random order.
Yes. Perfect. Selected
So-
random order.
Yeah, so I have for roll call votes, the sequence of votes shall be first the member who made the motion, then the member who supported the motion, and then the remaining members in random order.
Selected random.
In selected random. What does selected random order mean?
We don't know what that is. Just in random order.
Just say random.
All right, just random.
About rotating random order.
It's just hard to keep track of rotating because you're gonna have different people making all the motions.
Fair.
It's easier if you, and I'm not advocating it one way or the other, but if you don't have the motion maker going first, then you could always rotate the motions. The clerk would just have a list and each time would start with a different person, right? So rotating makes it kind of complicated if you're always having the motion make your vote first.
Understood. I defer to you, Laura.
That's how I would do it.
And with that, I have nothing else on this item.
Mayor, can I ask a question?
Please.
So my comment or my concern about the fact that whoever makes the motion and seconds the motion doesn't have to vote with that after the public discussion happens. That's not part of our charter or part of this ordinance. That would be part of like Robert's Rules of Order,
It's the guidelines.
just the
So-
guidelines for like general
Right.
governing.
That's what this is.
Right,
Got it.
so let me give my spiel. Let me
Please.
ask first, let me give my
Spiel.
spiel about Robert's rules. We tried, and I'll tell you what Robert's rules says, which I just said, it's 4325, that the maker of a motion can vote however they want on the motion. Robert's rule says the maker is not supposed to speak during discussion against their own motion. But what I would submit is that Robert's rules does not always align with the duties that you hold as public officials. Robert's rules was not written for public bodies, especially small public bodies like this. So we apply it as much as possible. Again, it's consistent in saying that the maker of the motion can vote however they want on the motion. I would probably not say that you should follow a part of Robert's rules that would limit any council member's discussion of a motion, because I just don't think it's a good fit with your independent statutory fiduciary duties to the public in making these kinds of decisions. So that's kind of a long-winded way of saying that Robert's rules says what I said is said there. Robert's rules also says that you shouldn't speak against your motion, but I would not tell the city to follow that part of Robert's rules, frankly, because I think an open and robust discussion on matters before this council is part of a duty that you have by law that supersedes Robert's rules.
I agree.
Right.
So Laura, just real quickly though, is there, I feel like there's a reference to Robert's rules either in this document or in the charter. Do you know? Which?
So, and that was what I was trying to look at before I started my speech there.
Because
So
I'm kind of curious what that says.
usually what we wanted to say is that you'll follow Robert's rules as much as practicable, because there's no way that a public body can strictly follow Robert's rules. And an example of that is under Robert's rules, you can just adjourn a meeting whenever you want. As a public body, you have to have public comment first. So there's plenty of examples where you'll never be able to perfectly follow it. We follow it as best we can, recognizing the requirements of the city. So you have a section in these proposed rules. I'm looking at my Word version, so let me make sure it's the same in the other. But my version says, in those instances where transactions of the city council's business require parliamentary procedure, Robert's Rules of Order shall be consulted, and the city attorney shall serve as the city council's official parliamentarian. And I'm comfortable with that because it's not trying to hold the city as a public body to requirements that it can't follow.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's now becoming worth my while that I decided to take an advanced course in Robert's Rules a couple of years ago.
Other comment?
Other comments? Are you happy with this? Do I have a motion then possibly?
Are we able to make a motion?
Yes, sir.
With all the change, I would love to make, first of all, I would like to say that I really, really appreciate Tina's, this is a very tedious project. And for me, having Tina's skill set it helped me a lot because it was the basis of all of our going back and forth for these months. And I really do appreciate that. And I would be lovely to make the motion to pass this resolution dealing with the city council meeting and meeting preparation procedures.
I would be happy to second that emotion and that motion, Mayor.
Does the public wish to speak at this point regarding this matter? Council, any other discussion? I go to Ms. Beck for roll.
Naktrab,
Aye.
Walker,
Aye.
Who?
Me?
Moore,
Aye.
Wilmot,
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Was that a little Robert's Rule humor?
It was. It was.
We're
Good
getting
job, Sarah.
desperate here.
That's Bob's humor. New business, adoption of a proposed resolution authorizing a contracts extension of the agreement with Motorola Solutions concerning Public Safety Department. Public Safety Director Carr, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Hello, City Council. Try and make this quick because if the sun goes down, I don't think the mayor will see me. Those glasses on. Anyway, yes, we were approached by Motorola Solutions who oversee our data and our in-car cameras, our body cameras. We've had them since 2003. A 5-year contract. They approached us that said if we would extend by the end of this year, that they would provide a 20% discount, which is a savings to the city of over $62,000. We are pleased with their product. They continue to do investments in their products. We have updates every 3 years. They provide us renew, they call it. So we get new body cameras, their latest version, our in-car cameras, things like that. Our system right now is consistent with Emmett County as well as Michigan State Police, as well as Harbor Springs. Kind of our area has the same cameras. They link together. We're able to seamlessly send our incidents up to the prosecutor's office in one motion. And there is a correction on this, on just the dates of the contract. I had in my mind, because we pay them in January, that it was a January to January type of contract. It's actually May 15th or May 19th of 2023 to May 19th of 2028 is our current contract. So the extension would be May 19th, 2028 to May 19th, 2033. That was my error. And since we're in the mood of corrections, here I throw out another one. So.
A lot of corrections today. So
That's correct, yeah.
falls right into place.
Does anybody have any questions?
Mr. Wilmot.
Yeah, I think this is great. It's a wonderful product. I'm familiar with Motorola. Just a clarification, it says 20% discount in cost, and yet later on you say that the cost is increasing from 22,000 to 25,956. So is it a 20%? Would it have otherwise been 20% over the new price of 25,200 or over the existing price? Had we not agreed to the contract?
Had we not agreed to it, yes, it would have been, I believe our final price is $123,000. The price without the discount is $156.
That's fine.
Something.
Ms. Moore.
So just a few questions. Thanks for the correction, because when I saw this in the attachment, I was confused about the dates. Is there a contract here that Laura's looking at? Or it kind of says there's either a contract or terms are found at this link. Do you?
Yes, and kudos to Laura, because I sent it to her about 3 days ago, and she responded today that everything looks kosher to her, so.
It incorporates, there's an existing contract that the city already entered into that this is an extension of. So the full contract is already adopted. But the contract terms for this extension, I did review.
Okay, thanks, Laura.
You're
And then
welcome.
on page 66, which is the first page of this bid, like item number 1 says refresh duration 3 years, and that kind of confused me.
That's the refresh of their latest product.
Okay.
So we start out, say they have a Motorola camera version 2, and they come out with a 3. The refresh is the new chargers and all of the new body cameras that come with it.
Okay, so that happens every 3 years
Yes.
instead of every 5 years. Okay.
Yes.
And then also it says on here, the number of devices are 31. And my question was, is that sufficient for us for the next 5 years.
We allow, or we have had to add a few. Matter of fact, when we had Tony come aboard, I wanted him to be able to record his interactions. We also now have one for our cadets as well because of the same interaction. So they've allowed us to add a few here and there, but it is at a cost. So if there would be any additions to this, then we would have to, it's, I would say maybe $3,000 to add a camera. And that includes all the data. Roughly, give or take.
Okay. And then finally, since we're doing this for a 5-year instead of an annual renewal, or how is this going to be budgeted? And maybe that's a question for the city manager.
City manager question.
We would still do this on an annual basis is how we're paying for this now, right? So
Yes.
break this 5-year into, they
Yes.
bill us once a year.
Year
and-
1, year 2,
Yeah.
year 3.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'd be paying $25,956.92 yearly, where right now we're paying $22,404.
I appreciate you looking at making sure that your cadets have it. Tony, I think that's fantastic that you're looking out for all of the staff, not just, I think that's beneficial to them as well as public, but also to them.
And my 2 cents is when this all came about, the officers kicked and screamed about having to wear cameras and everyone watching them and things like that. But it has been a blessing in disguise because we're able to learn from it with training and transparency and officers getting caught doing the right thing type of things. So.
Motion, please.
Oh, Mayor, I have a
Just
question, if I
a
may.
question.
Thank you, Director Carr. I did want to ask, do you know if emergency medical services, so EMS, do they wear body cams at this time as well?
I don't believe they do, but I think there has, and it may have to do with some HIPAA things, why they don't. But it also, I guess I'm not really sure on that, but I don't believe ours are in Emmett County have those.
And then EMS is, or I should say, public safety in the city of Petoskey is cross-trained. So would firefighters wear these as well as part of when they're on duty as well? Or are these just reserved for public safety officers in particular?
We just have them for our public safety officers, say our paid on call who, or part-time that would show up. They don't wear them. Actually, our officers, the public safety officers, don't switch their body camera over to their turnout gear either, just because it's time consuming. And there's magnets that are involved, and if they come off and then we end up with, they're in a fire somewhere, type of thing. So we do not actually enter fire scenes with them, but we have them on when we respond to them in our police gear, so.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Do I have a motion possibly?
I'll be happy, Mayor, to make a motion to approve the enclosed proposed resolution authorizing an agreement between Motorola Solutions and the city of Petoskey.
Thank you, Ms. Walker.
Support.
Thank you, Ms. Demore. We have a motion from Ms. Walker, a second from Ms. Demore. Any other discussion? Does the public wish to make any comments to council at this point about this? I go to Ms. Beck for roll.
Walker,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Wilmot,
Aye.
Murphy,
Aye.
Knaptrab.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Office Public Safety Director Carr. Last on the agenda. which I know you're all here for. Adoption of proposed resolution that would authorize a settlement agreement in Reese with Gustav and Courtney Lowe concerning the Little Traverse Wheelway collapse. I'm gonna turn it over to City Manager Horn. I guess what I want to say first, though, is, there are many moving parts and pieces to this. This has not been an easy situation for City Council. City Council has weighed in on this. The public has weighed in on this. I think I've had 58, a couple months ago in May, 58 emails to me concerning the trail. We all love the trail. We all wish we could keep the trail. We expect the trail to be rebuilt. Possibly not in the same same design. I think we need to look at some engineering changes. City has been sued by Dr. Lowe of that's in Arrowhead Shores. We've had mediation. We, through over 3 hours of mediation, attempted to eliminate moving forward for a jury trial. We do not feel that that's in the best interest of the city. We also know that it's probably over $100,000 minimal or more if it went to appeal by either side. We feel that this agreement that was negotiated, I had the opportunity, Mr. Knobtraub and myself, along with City Manager Horn, Public Works, Parks and Rec Director Kendall Klingel-Smith was also involved in this. And we tried to get what we could get, the best deal possible to bring to you, council, is a negotiated piece of this. There are still other outstanding pieces that need to be looked at as far as funding, re-engineering, design. But at the same point, we have to know that come the third week of roughly the 25th, unless I'm told differently by Laura, we need to have something that's going to move forward in the court's action. Is that correct, Laura?
We need to move forward with, correct, filing our witness list, expert witness list and reports and proceeding with discovery in the next several weeks.
Which is going to cost thousands.
Can I just confirm the deadline date is August 20th, Laura,
For which item?
for the end of discovery?
No, discovery has been extended out. Our August 20th deadline is our witness report, expert witness reports and expert witness list. And then discovery, we would need to file our discovery by the beginning of September so that responses are due before discovery closes at the start of October.
What's the date of close of discovery? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that if you said it.
Oh, that's all right. It is October 5th, Monday, October 5th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Part of the proposals, changes have been made to this, as you all know. It talked of 25, needing to raise 25 million to rebuild it. Had to be in a bank. Trail had to be completely built. Things have changed now. Things have changed now.
No, it's never had to be completely. built.
Okay, all right. But things have changed now. And I guess I'm gonna ask City Manager Horn to give us the latest changes that have occurred in this agreement. Possibly.
Yeah, a few things that we've gone back and forth, staff, the city attorney, and getting council feedback. Our city attorney's been going back and forth with the plaintiff's attorney. So we had some concerns about holding onto a number that was somewhat artificial. When we start saying 25 million, we really don't know what the cost of this project is because we haven't been able to submit the plans for review by our permitting agencies. So we could go through a process that we do significant value engineering or scope changes, and that 25 million could be significantly less. And so we don't want to have a number that we have to hit that maybe significantly less than that. So we did change that language and have a little bit of, we're not held to that number. So that the agreement essentially says this amount is estimated to be 25 million at this time, but the final amount shall be based on final permitting review and value engineering. So that was a change from our first push out of this agreement. The other things the city will do based on our review and input and mediation, we will go through and clear the brush and clean up the easement area. We will leave the asphalt pavement intact as requested. We will install metal gates and fencing on either side of the Arrowhead Shores neighborhood, extending the width of the easement area. We will provide trail close signage at the trailhead entrance at East Park. And the plaintiff will cooperate and execute documents to allow the city to submit plans to permitting agencies for review. So that's the current agreement as it stands now. So essentially it is 6 years from the date of execution. We will, all funds will be raised to rebuild that Resort Bluffs section of the trail and to begin construction. So nothing has to be completed, nothing has to be started. We have to be ready to start construction at that time. So, and I'll just say, I've spoken to a lot of folks, and we'd personally rather not be in this position, to be honest with you. We'd rather not have a timeline in an ideal world, but that's not the world we're living in right now. Personally, I'd rather see us spend our tax dollars on providing essential services to our residents. This really could tie up significant resources that could be used in other areas. And we will certainly do everything we can, and we've had great partnership with the Trails Council to assist in this community effort going forward. So we see this, this work that we're gonna do along the highway. This would be in concert with the fundraising that would go along on the original wheelway section, but we don't wanna sit and wait potentially 6 and maybe a 2-year construction process before we do anything along the highway. So we still want to proceed with that project, but we're not abandoning the original trail. That community project will still go on, still move forward, but in the meantime, we need to do something that's a little bit of a safer alternative for people to go along the highway. So we're still going that route, but we're not abandoning the original wheelway. We tried for a longer period of time. We pushed for 10 years. It just wasn't going to happen. So we started at 18 months, and that certainly wasn't going to be viable. We can't raise that amount of funds. Went to 5 years. We ended up getting up to 6 years. We think this is the best we're going to do at this point. And again, we'd rather not be in this position. We'd rather have this an open-ended opportunity. But again, that's not the world that we're living in currently. So we are proceeding with our permitting agencies to try to get this in their hands without having to have these acknowledgement forms returned. We've gotten great feedback from them, even as of 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's in their queue to review. They have a number of projects to review. We have a local representative in town that's committed to doing this review. So we'll learn a lot in that permitting review. They could come back and say, we're not going to allow you to go back there again. This is not the first time this has happened. You need an alternate route. And they could come back and say, we can do significantly less stonework along the shoreline. That's a huge part of this project. If we can take that out of it and only address, I say only, putting a bridge concept over the failed area, doing some groundwater remediation, doing some soil nailing along the slope, and that's our project, that's a significant savings. But we don't know if that's permittable yet. So it needs to be reviewed by our permitting agencies first and foremost, and then we'll know a lot of things we don't currently know. So that's kind of where it's at as we stand now.
Mr. Wilmot.
Can you clarify for me? It's my understanding that in order for the permitting agencies to review the engineering design and work with us, that they first need the permission of all of the easement holders. Is that correct?
That's what I was just saying. They need acknowledgement forms returned from riparian rights owners along that we would be doing stonework along the high water line and below. So we're trying to have that waived so we can at least, this is kind of an unusual situation. We're being sued. We have a group of property owners that aren't interested in returning acknowledgement forms. So in my mind, it's kind of forcing our hand a little bit. So could we get a review done outside of that, knowing that ultimately before this is ever permitted, we would need these things accomplished. But for now, could the permitting agencies just start their process? So we truly know that what our options are for rebuilding this section of the wheelway. So we've asked that question. The response we got was favorable. It's in their queue. It sounds like that's something that they would consider at this point, is what we're hearing. So,
Ms. Walker.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Shane, for explaining that for ourselves as well as the general public in this meeting. I did have a question about the language revision of the settlement agreement on page 1, number 6. So the revised settlement agreement in the language here said, the city shall have 6 years from the date this agreement is fully executed to raise all funds necessary to rebuild the Resort Bluff section of the Little Traverse Wheelway. I am concerned, and I guess Laura could probably chime in on this as well if she would, that rebuilding kind of pigeonholes us into like replacement of the way that it was. So I'm hopeful that maybe would a court look at rebuild in a potential situation as like replacing it the way that it was. So could we change that language to be like rebuild, replace, or otherwise reopen the trail? Thank
No, great
Laura?
question. I think, rebuild or reconstruct, I think reopen may not, if I'm guessing, reopen may not go far enough, right? Reopen, you could just say, okay, it's open, we didn't do anything and it's open, and that's obviously not what they're looking for, or what anybody's looking for that matter. But rebuild, replace, I don't expect to have any problem with that, adding that verbiage.
Anything else, Council? Mr. Knobtrop?
There's a couple of statements that I'd like to make. I was part of the mediation process, as you said, and I guess I want everybody to know that I didn't get this draft any sooner than anybody else did as a council. It appeared at the same time. And in my experience in mediations, directionally, we were going in a certain direction, and then you leave it up to the attorneys to start drafting the actual words and the actual paper, and that's when it takes on a new life. And in my own experience, plaintiffs, defendants, attorneys start to try to twist things in and get things in and add it into the final document. And I feel really uncomfortable in an open setting talking about this, but I feel like there's I want to get the settlement. And I think directionally, I'm happy with it, but there's details and it's all, the devil's in the detail that I think we need to fix it a little bit and tighten the daylights out of it. And it's not that I'm frustrated, but this is kind of the normal process in the mediation. You have an agreement in the mediation, then you have the attorneys write it. Well, no, that isn't what we said, and we go back and forth. There's some issues in here still that I think, like paragraph 7 ought to be deleted.
Why don't you start with your concerns and list them right now so we can discuss it as a council?
So if it's going to get in open session, I mean, I'll do, I'm not an attorney, but sometimes I feel like I spend too many times dealing with attorneys and documents. So I agreed with, I think item 7 ought to be deleted.
7 was updated if you keep reading.
Well, I was, and it still got confusing to me that it would seem to me that I didn't see a need to have 7 in there, because in our process, I don't want anybody to say, okay, if we're going to reroute it for a public safety thing, or we're going to add a new extension, I don't want anybody to be saying, well, hey, guys, you went an alternate route. So I'm not seeing the purpose of trying to add that in there. We ought to be able to do whatever we want to do to get a safer reroute off of 31, and it should be irrelevant to this agreement, because that isn't Lowe's business. It wasn't part of the litigation. It wasn't part of mediation. It wasn't anything. It was
Laura, would you address that, please?
Certainly. So my understanding of the concern is if the city winds up rebuilding, replacing the wheelway in the permanent $25 million give or take way, in a location that doesn't require going across the Lowe's property. So you do what you want to do, what the public wants, it gets rebuilt, but it no longer requires those easements, that then those easements will be terminated because they won't be needed.
Okay, no, that isn't what I'm talking about, Laura.
Oh, I'm
is
sorry.
It is currently, and the city knows, Lowe's know, everybody knows that there's a public safety concern over the one section on 31, there's no buffer. And we're actively, rather than wait for 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, or whatever, rather than wait for an accident to happen, we're actively looking at using an other extension, whether we call that, it's not really rerouting the Wheelway Trail, it's a safety. It isn't. And so that's
No.
what I'm saying is, because of that, I don't want to get into I started using language I didn't want to. I didn't want to get into a debate over this language that Lowe would come back and say, well, guys, you already kind of bypassed this already because you came up with another reroute. And I don't want to have that debate. So if you're saying that we have the ability to put up this other reroute and nobody can make an argument that says that this is another trailway, I'm fine with that. But I don't see why we even need it in there to begin with.
So I appreciate that, and I think typically a lot of this is in closed session. I think one advantage to open session perhaps is, and sure Dr. Lowe's listening, I'm sure his attorney's listening or will be. I don't believe that their intention is anything other than what I said, but we can work on that language to provide something that makes that clearer if it's not clear enough.
The other, at least for me during this process, it was important that we receive the support of the Trailway Council so that we're all in lockstep. And I know there was different discussions, and it's my understanding that it was sort of verbally done. And I don't know what the status of that is precisely. Is a part of my personally wanting to avoid is to say, okay, I think the 6 years is reasonable as long as we define what the 6 years mean. It's a reasonable amount of time because I want this thing resolved. And I was hoping to avoid a big public debate about this again, and that we're being thrown under the bus because we settled on this. And I was hoping to have a little bit of community support, and I thought that was kind of the direction. So I'm not exactly sure where that is precisely now. I know there's been a change of guard and there's been some discussion that you've had, Mayor, but do we know if there's support for this?
I don't think nobody can speak for their board at this point. But here's the situation. Their board could say, we're committed to funding the trail. And we do an agreement. And then tomorrow they could also, the board could decide a change of boards that could say, we're no longer doing it. So this agreement is on the 6th year, trying to get this thing so that we have 6 years to work with this, irregardless of, is it the Trails Council? Is it a new Trails Council that comes up? Is it a different group that comes forward with money? I think that this agreement opens it up to say, we'll work with anybody, basically. And we aren't going to narrow it down to just the Trails Council because there'll be funding that will come from a lot more places than just that.
All I'm saying is when we were, I don't know if I'm allowed to, this is why I hate this. When we were in.
And let me say, if there's something that we want to have a closed session and discuss it, I don't want you to, I want you to know that we can do that as well. We're not precluded from having a closed session on pending litigation to discuss it. My understanding was, we have an agreement that we obviously any approval is going to be an open session. So that's why we're in open session right now. But I appreciate the concern you're expressing.
So, it was my belief that it was important to get feedback from and I appreciate what you're saying, Mayor, now what you're saying. During other discussions, I felt we had consensus that we were trying to get some feedback from an organization that has been active in this. I realize what you're saying, it could be there today, there tomorrow, but I was kind of hoping that we would say, explain the situation and they would kind of, okay, yes, or absolutely no. But I thought we got that sort of.
I mean, I think in our discussion, they want to work in concert with the city. I think we both want the same things. We want to work together. We don't want to pull in different directions. That's no good for anybody. Their board will, what we were told is their board meets again on August, I believe it was 17th. They'll consider, a letter of support at that time. But until then, they weren't ready to commit to anything. I think, like I just said, they would prefer not to have a timeline attached to it, which I would agree as well. But that's, again, just not what we're working with currently. I mean, 6 years is certainly better than 18 months. They recognize that. When we met previously, there seemed to be some support for 6 years, but that was one person's feedback. It wasn't the voice of the board. So we're kind of waiting to hear that. But I think I felt good coming out of that we have a partner that wants to work together moving forward. So I took comfort in that this is not us out on our own. We have a group that's ready to roll up their sleeves and work alongside us as well.
Okay. The next area of concern that I have is the definitions in 6. And again, I don't claim to be an attorney. From a business standpoint or from the spirit of this, it was my understanding directionally that we had 6 years to come up with a plan that was workable, that we could afford and could raise the money, whether that's 25 million, or as you said, Shane, we create a bridge, or somebody said in public comment that had some other ideas, and that we had time to evaluate all that.
We do.
Well, no, okay, I'm read it too, very closely, John. So please.
Sure.
And not that we have building construction, not that we start construction at all, that we have, in my mind, the spirit of this should be that we have 6 years to figure out a good solution that we could afford. When we had the original presentation, they said it would, even if we had the money, I asked the question back in the last fall, if we had the money today, when could we start? And they said, well, there's a lot to do. So I could see if we could take a couple years. So in my mind, the definition of the 6 years should only be that we have a workable solution with the permitting agencies and that matches our affordability, and not any language in there that says we have to have permits pulled, we have to have construction going, we have to have activity. And that's not how I'm reading section 6. So that's a concern, is I don't want us to get in a trick bag that if on the 5th year, 11th month, that we finally get the permitting agencies to approve, we finally got some money that we can do it for $15 million, and then, oh, you didn't get it started, and then we're screwed. I think we ought to avoid that. So that's my concern on that. And a question that I had was, is this settlement that's going to have on Exhibit A, that we would have it's only the low easement, or it's all easement? What is the definition of what we're doing?
Right, so it would be the easements, and I would narrow that to say, to the extent they're encumbering the Lowe's property. The Lowe's are the only parties to this. This is
Right.
not
Okay.
affecting common elements or neighboring properties. So that is what those are not attached for you. So I appreciate the question. But that is what we would have them say.
Just low, okay. And then I guess the last point was, and I think Shane had sort of addressed it, but I sure would feel more comfortable, not having a situation that a single property owner, and I know we got this in the agreement for Low, that a single property owner can't hold us ransom and then we're just dead in the water by default. I sure as heck would like to have a real comfort level that the permitting agencies will allow us to look at bridge and stuff. And I'd love to know that before we actually agree to this, but that's my opinion. That's all for now, Mayor. Thank you.
Just to back up to 30,000-foot view here, this agreement as it's currently sitting and we're discussing is the result of the mediation. Alternatively, we can just not consider this agreement and we can go to court and take our chances in court. Isn't that correct?
Right.
So the choice that's before council now is whether or not we take taxpayer dollars and fund a court appearance, or if we continue to refine this agreement and hope that the Lowe's agree to it. But even then, it's my understanding that if the other easement holders don't sign their authorizations and the permitting agencies don't waive the requirement for those authorizations, that this agreement doesn't make any difference anyway. Does that sound like a fair analysis of the situation?
Laura, you have a comment?
Well, I'm not sure I'd characterize it as not making a difference. It will potentially impact whether that project can get done at the end of the day. I mean, we can't force people who are not parties to this litigation to agree to cooperate.
Yes, but my point was it's only part of the story.
The Lowe's are only part of the story. I would agree with that.
What else? Mr. Moore.
So in my comments, I'm going to really try to strike a balance between public transparency. I'm a huge believer in public transparency, but at the same time, I'm going to be very circumspect about sharing specific details of my perspective, given that we do have ongoing litigation. Settlement negotiations are still underway, and if the Lowe's have a good attorney, he should be on Zoom right now. Regarding the proposed settlement agreement that we've been presented with, I don't support the agreement as it's currently drafted, particularly paragraphs 6 and 7. My understanding of the mediation proposal was that it involved two components or conditions: a time period and an amount of money. In paragraph 6 and 7, this proposed agreement adds other factors as conditions, not to my understanding anticipated by the mediation proposal. Having said that, I would like to speak to those who have sent me emails, and I mean this most respectfully, saying, or spoken here, saying, don't settle and keep the easements. I hope that those folks will be considering the potential that the city could lose this lawsuit, as my colleague has referenced. With that outcome, the easements would be immediately extinguished without any opportunity for a time window for fundraising or problem solving, absent an appeal for which there would need to be legal grounds and funding. So I would respectfully suggest that any settlement proposal should be considered in that context. And specifically, in other words, the value of a settlement in this matter is that it offers some degree of control over an unpredictable outcome. So by its nature, a settlement is a compromise where neither party gets 100% of what it wants. And what I think all of us at this table are trying to say and do is that all efforts are being made in this process to act in the best and long-term interests of the community. So I am interested in this settlement agreement, but not as it currently exists, particularly relative to paragraphs 6 and 7. Thank you.
It's going more into depth on the what is wrong with 6 and 7.
I would prefer not to do that on the record. I would prefer to do that in a setting that would not benefit or detrimentally impact settlement negotiations.
And I think that's an appropriate observation, and we do want to be mindful that everything that Councilmember Demore said, so.
So are you suggesting that we would go to closed session with this?
I think to have the kind of candid conversation that it sounds like council wants to have, that would be appropriate. And I think that the public transparency part is very important. Obviously, the settlement agreement is something that is approved by council in open session if and when we ever get to a point where there is a settlement agreement that council wants to approve. But I'm sensing there's questions and concerns and maybe further discussion about mediation itself that would be more appropriate for closed session.
That could be scheduled in September, what is it, the 7th of September? I think we have that's our next meeting available.
Labor Day.
That's
Labor
Labor
Day.
Days. No.
You guys
Oh,
didn't
so
schedule
it's
it.
not, so it'd be September
10th, I think it.
September 10th, is it?
Yeah, we go to Thursday,
No.
we go to Thursday, don't we?
You guys didn't schedule that, no?
We can certainly schedule something other than the Monday of Labor Day that week if council so desires, but right now we don't have a meeting.
So the only meeting we have, sorry,
September 24th.
is September 21st.
21st is our next scheduled meeting at this point. Laura, what do you suggest we do?
Well, you can schedule a special meeting if you wish to consider it sooner. If not, schedule it when it works for council. We will proceed to vigorously defend the city in the litigation in accordance with the deadline set by the court unless and until there's a settlement.
Mr. Moore?
Laura, is there a date by which having further information from us sooner than September would be beneficial to you, given other deadlines in this matter? What you're thinking?
Well, the case will proceed if it's not settled, of course. So the deadlines that I need to meet, I will meet. And we will proceed. That means proceeding with discovery because that would need to be initiated before September 21st.
I'm not real happy with the situation of waiting until then, and I'll tell you why, because it's gonna be nothing but cost the city hourly. And I feel that that's not very good for the city, and I think if you wish to go to closed session, council, then I think we should schedule it probably sometime here in August. I'd suggest 2 weeks. I would suggest I am not available next week, but the week after that, I'm available.
So is the direction here, we're not passing, we're just kind of tabling this, it sounds like is the.
I will need a motion on that, but I would prefer to have a motion with a date rather than just
But
a.
that's directionally, that's where we're going. Okay, okay, then, yeah.
Is that, council, what you wish? It sounded like that's what you were.
I mean, I definitely would like to be able to have some, I mean, if you were wanting to get anything from me on this anyway, it's the mediation, we've got to follow the mediation process, and words matter. Very detailed words matter to protect the city. And I want to protect the city too. But words matter, and
Ms.
I'd like to
Walker?
have time.
I am not entirely clear about what would be resolved in a closed session versus a public meeting that's, I'm sorry, thank you, Charlie. I'm not entirely clear what would be resolved in a closed session meeting versus discussing in public.
If I can jump in, part of it is that to talk in detail about mediation and mediation stands, communications made particularly by the Lowe's that were communicated to us in mediation are considered confidential. So we can't actually really talk about that in open session. We could talk about that in closed session, as well as, receive more, I suppose, ask more questions that if people are concerned that saying something could be used against the city in litigation, having that in closed session eliminates that concern. Even though settlement discussions generally are protected, people will, I think, feel a little more comfortable asking those in closed session.
Thank you, Laura.
Also, do you wish to schedule a closed session? Another session to go into closed session. Ms. Walker.
Mayor, can we still consider public comment at this time and then come back to a decision after we receive public comment to decide if we want to meet in closed session?
Yes, for sure.
I would like to hear the public that did show up and also acknowledge one of the statements that was made already by former county planner Max Putters, who really outlined very articulately the history and the context in which this bike path was created as a public partner, private partnership. And I've been very vocal in my term on city council. I was here and serving in city council in 2020 when the bike path fell into the Lake Michigan due to unprecedented climate-related events. And every year, this body, this governing body approves between $100,000 and $150,000 of our money, of your money, to repave sections of the wheelway at our expense. Where's Resort Township? Where's Emmett County? Where are our public partners in this process? We are out here and we are very much alone in this process. And I feel it's been very isolating and we've been thrown under the proverbial bus in terms of responsibility. Absolutely. We want to take responsibility and ownership in a public process for restoring whatever this could look like to regain our $1 million views in mile. So I think there might be other possibilities too with our Native Sovereign Nation and the Bureau of Indian Affairs monies that they receive to help replace roads. And we've done lots of partnerships with the tribe in that regard. So who's to say that there couldn't be a better public demonstration and coming together for this purpose? So I wanted to acknowledge that because I felt like what Max had shared with us was a historic reminder of what a partnership this was. And now we're here like all on our own and we're being sued by somebody that's a respectable member of our community and somebody that I consider one of my elders and that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. So this has been a really hard endeavor, but I really would love to hear what the rest of the public has to say before we decide that we're going to go into closed session again and we have to make a motion. Would that be okay?
No problem. I will say that we need to keep this to 5 minutes. Actually, it was 3, but we will look at 5 minutes for this situation. We've had a speaker went to 9 minutes, but we're going to try and keep it. It'll stay to 5 minutes, okay? Public wish to weigh in on this, please come forward. Who's first? Raise your hand. Sir. Ready.
Thank you for working and all the money you get paid for doing this. I just think it's just wonderful. My name is Nick White. I live at 927 East Lake Street. I've had an office in Petoskey since 1979. I'm an architect. I was about 12 years on the planning commission, some of those with Tina. I was 10 years as a county commissioner and having, 50 some years in architecture. I know a little bit about easements and condominiums, but I have some questions. And my first question is, has this council been approached by the Arrowhead Condo Association? And maybe that's the question for the lawyer.
Continue.
That's a question. I'm just looking for an answer. Okay, you want me to list them and then you guys answer them later
I
on?
may not get answers to this.
Okay.
You're the.
Okay.
Was. Plan.
Did the condominium association with whom you have the easement agreement with, did they approach this council? I don't know. Did any of the other property owners in Arrowhead approach this council for a remedy for the wheelway? Do the Lowe's, Gus Lowe and his wife, have permission or approval or an agreement with the condo association to represent the condo association The original agreement was with the condominium corporation. And I've got a copy of it right here. I read it. It's pretty clear. It doesn't say Gus Lowe. It doesn't say individual property owners. It's a collective association. And I don't know if you guys know what condominium associations are. They're different than a regular fee simple lot that you break up and you divide. Condominium associations are three parts. One is the condominium unit. That's what you buy. Two would be the limited common elements. Those would be elements that are enjoyed by you as a property owner only, not as general public or not as everybody in the association, but they would be limited to either your unit, it'd be like your front yard or whatever like that. Then the general common elements are roadways and things that everybody in a condominium association can enjoy. Those are the three major elements. The easement, this easement is a 15-foot strip of property that crosses both the units themselves. It crosses the limited common element, which is a lot that they set aside for some back lots to have a common lakefront access. And it also crosses the general common elements, which is the cul-de-sac. And the 15-foot easement is all that the easement agreement says we're responsible for. We're not responsible for anything outside the 15-foot path. As a matter of fact, if we do something outside the 15-foot path, and it's pretty clear in the agreement, we would have to get permission from each individual property owner, but we're not responsible for the lakefront, for the lakeshore. That wasn't our lakeshore that dropped away. That was their lakeshore that dropped away. It dropped away from our strip that runs through there. But other than that, that's not, but I don't know that we can, legally go down to the lakeshore and start digging stuff up without some type of another easement. Well, they'd love us to do that, I'm sure, but it's not our property. It's actually in Resort Township. So, the other thing is that the original agreement states that if we abandon or terminate the use of the easement, then it shall extinguish. So we have to make a statement. That's one of the things that we really need to do. One of the action points would be the city needs to declare that they are not abandoning nor terminating that easement. We also need to determine if Lowe has standing to sue the city. I don't think he does as an individual property owner without, because the original agreement was signed by Dwayne. Oh, is that for me? Jesus Christ, give me a break, Okay, all right, all right. So declare that it's not abandoned. Determine if Lowe has standing to sue us. Otherwise, take a hike. That'd be my opinion. Determine if the settlement is an actual remedy or just something to get rid of Gus Lowe. And if you do a settlement, I think you have to stipulate it's with the entire corporation. It's not with Gus Lowe. That's all I got to say. Thank you very much.
I will tell you that our city attorney will get back to city council through the city manager. Will get back to us with any questions that we have here, I believe. Is that right, Shane? We can request that.
So directed, yeah, if you guys want that.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak to council, please come forward. At the time.
Emily Meyerson, you guys know me. It's terrible, and I know you guys are in a terrible spot, so I'm here. Wrote a letter in March. I was at all those meetings that you had before. I didn't want to rewrite that letter, but really nothing has changed since then. I mean, what I said then is preserve the easement. It's not about building a trail. It's about preserving the easement the public paid $233,000 for. Emmett County, in essence, paid $233,000. That is our money. It is a public right-of-way, and we need to fight it. I worked in government a lot of years. Being sued is terrible, but it's part of doing business. And I really believe that the city will win and they will persevere. I understand your need to negotiate too, and I think you have to do that on good faith. But to incorporate raising $25 million to build a 10-foot wide bike trail into this, I was just shocked because I know the city is looking at building the upper trail, and I respect that. A lot of people want the lower trail, but you're moving ahead with that. According to Councilman Wilmot, he told Ward 2 that it would be done next year. So you have an upper trail. Why not you preserve that easement? It could be a different kind of trail. It can be a walking trail, like Mr. Putter said, like Councilman Walker said. It doesn't have to be a 10-foot wide trail. If you have a hiking trail, a walking trail, you can get through there. You don't need permission because you're not going outside your easement area, and you could put that back in. And it preserves the easement forever, so maybe in 20 years, 30 years, you do build another trail down there, like the one we used to know. But right now, why not move ahead with your upper trail? I just feel like this whole settlement agreement is mixing up building a trail, and that's not what it should be about. It should be about preserving the public easement that the public paid for and the public wants to care about. And so I think that should be the focus, and that shouldn't be on there. If it's coming up with the change of language, like Manager Horn said, what if it's going to cost $3,000 to put a footpath in there? Is that all you need? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answers to that. But I really don't think that should be wrapped up in it, because a trail means different things to lots of different people. And I just, it really concerns me getting, about the money. I just think you got to fight it. I think that's what it's about. I think it's obvious the public is behind that. They're willing to say, hey, pay for this. This is important. Fight it. But it's like you're fighting one person. What about all the public that's come to all those meetings? At one meeting, Mayor Murphy said something about he was getting calls from all over the country because a lot of our seasonal people, that live here weren't here at the time when this came up. And they were making calls. Visitors were making calls. This is important. I mean, what if they decide to countersue? Do you want to fight that? I'm not saying they're going to. I know nothing about it. But that's also a possibility if you give this up. So really, just preserve the easement. You can negotiate, but get that money out of there. It doesn't belong. Refocus on just preserving the easement. And this council should move ahead and build your upper trail and preserve the easement long-term. And that's all I have to say. So I know it's hard. I respect you all. I know it's difficult, and I appreciate it. So thank you. What you do.
Anyone else to speak to council?
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Jane Dene, and I live at 566 West Lake Street, next to Magnus Park. So I've had years of watching people enjoy the bikeway and improving their health, not just physically, but emotionally, watching families and friends connecting. And that's what community is about. It's about connecting. So I am grateful to Mayor Murphy and to Councilman Netstraff for your negotiations and mediation and ongoing with the Lowe's. I'm also grateful to Trails Council for their tenacity in pursuing rebuilding of the washout area. But I cannot accept giving up the easement. The public 20 years ago purchased this easement, and we can't give it up. Because once it's given up, are we going to buy it back someday when we have a different plan? But So really, that's all I wanted to say is to protect the easement and that we all realize that the Miracle Mile is the jewel in our community's crown. Once that jewel is gone, it is probably gone. So thank you for all your work in protecting what we all know and love so very much.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone else wish to speak to council?
I'd like to take another second. My name is Max R., but the R stands for redundant. I think that there's just so many aspects to this that need to be aired out a little more. And I would like to see like a task force, something, get the township, get the county, get the conservancy, and try to map out the issues. And so that, like you said, the burden of this maintenance costs. Of course, people think you deserve that because you got the 425 agreement, but, so you're getting money from Bay Harbor to do stuff for services. But I think we could all get a task force together, something like that, to really iron out and get to the bottom of all these questions. There's some really good points made here today and questions that need to be addressed by other agencies, like the Top of Michigan Trails Council, like Emmett County. And again, the Conservancy or the Watershed Council, we've got a lot of talent in this community, and it just seems like this project is a can of worms. We gotta go open it up and go fishing.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak to council at this time? Or anybody online? No? Okay, council. Mr. Wilmot.
Yes, I'd like to propose a motion that we schedule Thursday, the 20th of August for a special meeting, which would include going into closed session for further discussion on this situation.
Would that include coming out of closed session? In other words, to have it as
It would include closed session, but I leave the rest of the agenda to you and the city manager.
I cannot be on here on the 20th.
One option to consider is we could use our regular meeting on the 17th. Instead of doing the CIP, we do this meeting and push the CIP meeting a few weeks down.
I cannot do the evening of the 17th, unfortunately. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
No problem.
what
about next week?
What
What
day
can you do
can,
next
I
week?
cannot do next week. I'm out of town. I can do next, I can't do anything next week.
How about the 27th?
Could we do it before the CIP? Maybe not, Lindsay.
Uh,
They're
No,
they're gone.
it's not available.
How about the 27th?
Well, so Monday?
Thursday.
Monday, yeah. So when your guys are gone next week? And there's no other day the week of the 17th that can work?
From the 18th on, I'm available.
So what about the 18th?
What is the 18th? What-
Tuesday.
Following the CIP meeting on.
Or the 19th?
I could do either of those dates.
I don't have a calendar in front of me.
When's the CIP meeting?
On the 17th.
Monday, August
We
17th.
have two days back to back together. A long time.
That's awfully intimate.
We can't go into this.
You guys so much.
So you've got 18th, 19th, 18th or 19th.
Either one's fine. I can adjust my motion accordingly.
Counselor, does that work? 18th or 19th, either one?
Yeah, either day is okay with me.
Laura, what, are you
Yes.
open? Huh?
Yes, I'm open either of those dates.
Why don't we do the 18th? Why don't we do the 18th in case there's snow or storm or something like this pushes us back a day, okay?
Does that give you enough time to notice the notification of the public? Okay, I guess.
Well, I modify my motion to Tuesday, August 18th at 6 PM.
I support.
Any other discussion? Public wish to weigh in on this? I go to Miss Beck for roll.
tabling, that's the motion, right?
The motion is to table and to, right?
Allow me to clarify. The motion is to, nope, pushed it. The motion is to table this resolution for the time and further discussion for a special meeting to be scheduled on Tuesday, August the 18th at 6 PM.
I support that modified motion.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That'll work. Yeah. No, you have to come up and you have to speak. You give us your name. It's a routine that has to be followed, sorry.
Emily Meyerson, I just was wondering if it was gonna be a meeting that would be closed session and then open afterwards, or is the
Yeah.
meeting just closed session?
My intent, it'll be up to the city manager and myself, but our intent is that we would have open, we would go to closed session and come back to
There'd be action out of closed
action.
session.
Go to action following closed session.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to comment on this? Council good? I go to Ms. Beck for roll.
Wilmot,
Yes.
Nachtrab,
Aye.
Walker,
Aye. Aye.
Murphy.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Next is city council comment, and I start with Ms. Walker, Ward 4.
Thank you, Mayor. I did have an announcement based on the resolution that we shared earlier this evening. The First Presbyterian Church of Petoskey is celebrating our 150th year anniversary. And that will be an event that is transpiring on Sunday. So we have a 9:45 AM this Sunday, 9:45 AM service. That's our normal scheduled time. And then from 11 AM to 1 PM, we have an ice cream and cool jazz on the property at the First Presbyterian Church. So that is a public event and everybody is welcome to celebrate our 150 years of being rooted in community here in Petoskey. Thank you.
Mr. Knoptop?
Speaking of the 425 agreement, I happened to attend the 30th anniversary of the Bay Harbor Yacht Club Saturday night. There's 1,000 families that have been moved into our beautiful Petoskey community by way of the 425 agreement that are wonderful people. They're all new over the last 30 years. Bay Harbor has generated hundreds and hundreds of jobs, good middle-class jobs, great jobs. They're not all a bunch of rich people behind the gates. Half of the Petoskey tax base is from that community. They tend to be light users. It's been a godsend to our finances. You know, I'm so proud of our balance sheets and our finances in this city. And part of that is the result of the Bay Harbor community people that you're trying to get money from, which is a little irritating.
What?
There has been, and I wanted to just have a special shout out for the vision of Bill McCormick and David Johnson, who is their vision to create that. And I think that Bay Harbor has been a wonderful asset to the city of Petoskey and the greater northern Michigan. And they love the trailway too. Thank you.
Ward 2, Mr. Wilmot.
Just a shout out for our Lockwood Picnic, 26th annual, is it not?
Yes, it is.
26th annual Lockwood Picnic, Monday night. Be there or be square. That's all.
Starts at 5 o'clock. Ms. Demore. Ward 1.
We kick off the 2026-2027 Petoskey Youth Advisory Council year with a trolley tour of the recreational properties with Mr. Klinkle-Smith at the lead and hopefully somebody driving the trolley. So obviously, if one of you would like to join, you know, you're welcome to do that. And then the entire group, which numbers 18 this year, we've gone from 12 to 16 to 18, will be introduced to City Council at our meeting on September 21st. Thank you.
What's the date of your trolley ride again?
Yeah, thank you.
August 20th. You too are invited, City Council Manager.
Thank you.
think we depart at 5 o'clock from,
I,
right in front of, this building. Want to go, shoot me a text and let me.
What day did you say?
August 20th.
August 20th.
There'll be chocolates?
I'm
Will there be chocolate? There'll be all sorts of.
Would there be chocolate?
Yeah, okay, fine, there will be chocolate, if that'll lure the rest of you in. I'm also gonna have an announcement about a really interesting thing that's happening with the Youth Advisory Council on September 14. More about that to come. All right.
Oh, good. If you have a dog, show up for the dog ribbon cutting. I think you'll enjoy that.
Are dogs invited?
Dogs, oh,
Absolutely.
you can send your dog and you can stay home, okay? I would just went by the dog park again today. I ran into 4 people that were standing there with their dog wanting to know if they could use it now. I said, no, there's a sign coming up that says stay off until ribbon cutting in 2 weeks from tomorrow. Or, yeah, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Make sure, if you want to see something really cool, we've got some great art panels. These are people from Emmett County and Charlevoix County, residents here, workers that have been here, people from Bayview. Sorry they left. They could have heard that people even from Bayview are in this. We've got some great piece of art. They're large 4x4 massive panels. Kendall came over and saw them and they knock your socks off with how cool these panels are gonna be. But it celebrates Northern Michigan artists, and that's what this is about, is let's celebrate the talents that we have here. You don't have to go away to see great art. You're gonna see this down at the waterfront on the wall, the support highway wall across from the softball park, and that's 2-3 weeks from Friday, tomorrow, on the 28th. Come and also go down and sit on the bench. Pete Kehoe sent me a text just now as I was walking in here. He said that, oh my gosh, he says, I went down to see the bench. I ended up getting stuck taking photographs of 3 different families crowded on the bench because they wanted somebody outside their family to take it. So he said they kept rotating through and he took 3 family pictures while he was there. So take a look at the bench. I gotta say, thanks to City Manager Horn, Sarah involved with this, Sheila Runes, and our Arts Commission. What a great group of people we've got that you guys have supported with some funding, and it's just spectacular. Yes.
I'm sorry, Mayor. I failed to mention that our annual Little Traverse History Museum's annual corn roast is coming up next Friday, that'll be the 14th. From 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and the most amazing volunteers. And of course, it is a zero waste event. Thank you so much.
No further business come from this council. I call you all